In methodology, I am going to discuss to you the research design, our hypothesis, the sources of our data, the participants of our study, and how we will select them, the data gathering procedure, the instrument we will going to use, and how we will treat those data statistically. In this research, we are going to use a quantitative quasi-experimental approach because we are interested to know the effect of our intervention. To do that, we are going to compare the pre-test and post-test scores of the students. However, we hypothesize that there is no significant difference between the proficiency level of the students upon using the modern language lab software. In this research, we are going to use two sources of data, the primary and secondary. The primary data will be taken from the responses of the participants in the pre-test and post-test, survey questionnaires, and the responses on the interview, while the secondary data will be taken from books and reliable websites. In this research, we are going to choose or select students from both public and private schools within Noveleta. These schools include Noveleta National High School, Holy Cross Catholic School, St. Therese Catholic School, and Athenaeum Academy. This is to validate and support the result of the study. In this research, we are going to use convenience sampling technique in which we are going to select grade 10 students from both public and private schools according to their availability and conveniency. In this study, we are going to use the Modern Language Lab software as a tool for the intervention. We're also going to use a standardized test from the EF set that will compose of 54 items divided into 4 sections. The first section composed of questions that will test the students' vocabulary. The second one will test their sentence agreement, while the last section will compose of questions that will test or challenge their listening and reading comprehension. Also, a survey questionnaire will be conducted. The first part of the questionnaire will be about the demographic profile of the students, while the second part will compose of questions that will let us researchers to know or to determine the students' or participants' reactions towards the Modern Language Lab software. All the respondents of this study will take both pre-tests and post-tests from EF set, in which the test composed of 54 items divided into 3 sections. The first one is about vocabulary agreement, while the second one will challenge their sentence agreement, while the last one is about the listening and reading comprehension of the students. The intervention will last for 2 weeks, in which all the students will be introduced to the Modern Language Lab software. After 2 weeks, all the data that were gathered will be tabulated and formulated by the statistician before the interpretation, and this research will conduct online. To test our hypotheses, we are going to use 4 statistical treatments. The first one is frequency and percentage that will be used to determine the demographic profile of the participants. Next one is mean that will be used to measure the scores of the students' responses on the checklist and the students' scores in pre-test and post-test. Next one is standard deviation to test the reliability of the dataset, and last one is paired t-test or dependent t-test that will be used to determine if there is a significant difference between the pre-test and post-test scores of the students after using the Modern Language Lab software. And that would be all. Thank you.